Today we're here with Andrew McCarthy, who's shedding some light on the events of September 11th, 2012, and sharing what he thinks the House Select Committee on Benghazi should address as it commences a full investigation. What are the biggest takeaways to come out of this conference on Benghazi?
I think that we want to be a help to the committee, but our priority is to make sure that we get to the bottom of what really happened. That's what most Americans want. That's, I think, what the vast majority of Americans want. That's what our coalition is about.
And what do you think the biggest questions that the committee can ask and investigate are?
Well, there's a slew of unanswered questions, and I think, frankly, it goes all the way back to the unauthorized war that the president started in Libya, goes through the failure, which was really reckless, to provide adequate security for our facility there, why we had a security there in the first place, why we kept it and kept our personnel there when everybody else in the world was pulling their people out, why we weren't ready on the 11th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks, which is astonishing. How come nothing meaningful was done to protect Americans under siege, even though we now know the president and other parts of the government knew from the first minutes that it was a terrorist attack? And the genesis of this fraud that the video did it.
Talk to us a little bit about President Obama's responsibility in this situation, and give us a little insight on why you think we don't know the timeline of his schedule that evening.
Well, his responsibility is he's the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. So if we were going to come to a rescue in a foreign country, obviously the president had to be very much involved in that. And it's clear that he certainly had the awareness to be involved in it, and yet nothing meaningful was done.
And what do you think is the media's responsibility and role in this situation? And how do you think going forward they should be covering the committee and the fallout that's to come?
Well, they should be doing what we're doing, which is to try to get to the bottom and find out what happened. And that shouldn't be a partisan mission. It shouldn't be an ideological mission. It's a fact-gathering mission.
And if you think there's one piece of this story and timeline that the general public aren't grasping and understanding yet, what would that be? What would you want to tell people?
What was President Obama doing from the late afternoon until the late evening of September 11, 2012, while 4 Americans were fighting for their lives?
For the Daily Signal, I'm Kelsey Harkness.